William Clement Frawley was born on February 26, 1887 in Burlington, Iowa, to Michael and Mary Frawley, and was the second of 4 children. Bill grew up singing in the choir at St. Paul's Catholic Church and appearing as he grew older in local theater productions and in amateur shows, despite discouragement from his mother. Bill's first employment was as a stenographer for a railroad, a position he kept for 2 years, then moved to Chicago and became a court reporter, landed a singing part in a musical comedy, then moved to St. Louis to work for another railroad. He and his younger brother Paul formed a vaudeville act, and after his brother returned to Iowa, Bill then sold a script he had written, funding a vaudeville agency for $500. Moving again, he settled in Denver and worked as a singer in a cafe, and then teamed with pianist Franz Rath, forming the act A Man, a Piano, and a Nut, taking it to San Francisco in 1910. He married his wife Edna Frawley in 1914, and the two formed an act, Frawley and Louise, and toured into the 1920s. During his time in vaudeville, Bill would introduce several hit songs such as My Mammy, My Melancholy Baby, and Carolina in the Morning. Bill took to Broadway in the mid-20s before moving to Hollywood in the 30s. He already had some experience in front of the camera from appearing in Lord Loveland Discovers America and To Sort, Persistent Percival, both from 1916, and 3 other sorts, Ventriloquist in 1927, and Turkey for Two and Fancy That, both in 1929, before landing the role of Mac in the musical Moonlight and Pretzels in 1933. What followed was a more than 30-year career appearing with the likes of James Cagney, Audie Murphy, Rita Hayworth, Maureen O'Hara, Abbott Costello, Reg Skelton, Joel McRae, Deanna Durbin, Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, Ginger Rogers, Carol Lombard, and Fred McMurray, just to name a few. With over 100 credits to his name by 1950, his defining role had yet to come. Hearing that husband and wife Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball were preparing production for a new sitcom, he lobbied hard for the role of the supporting character of the penny-pinching landlord. But Arnaz and Ball already had an actor in mind from Lucy's radio show, My Favorite Husband. Their choice for Fred Mertz was Gale Gordon. Bill wasn't going to let the role slip through his fingers, though, even calling Ball one night, surprising her since he barely knew him. Although set on Gale Gordon, the husband and wife team were unable to get him for the role, and their thoughts turned seriously to Bill Frawley. Warned by the producers that he would not be a suitable choice for the live show, having a reputation for drinking, Arnaz and Ball decided to take a chance on the entertainment veteran. Stories vary slightly here, but both agree that Desi Arnaz took things in hand from the beginning. One states that Arnaz told Bill if he showed up drunk just once, he would be fired, while the others say that Arnaz warned Bill that he would have 3 chances if he showed up drunk, was late to work, or unable to perform for something other than a legitimate reason. The first would pass, the second would have severe consequences, and the third time would result in his being fired. But Bill was a professional and was on time, knew his lines, and was never drunk, and as it would turn out, Desi became one of Bill's few close friends. In fact, the only shows Bill missed during the run of the classic comedy was when the New York Yankees played in the World Series, a feat they achieved every season except 1954 and 1959. An avid Yankees fan, Bill had that clause written into his contract at the beginning. But the set was not completely void of conflict, as Bill and his on-screen wife, Vivian Vance, had their differences, but that did not ruin the working conditions of the show, nor their on-screen chemistry. Appearing as Fred Mertz on I Love Lucy from 1951 to 1957, Bill made the move with the rest of the cast to the Lucy-Desi Comedy Hour, basically the same show, just as the title says, an hour long. When that series ended in 1960, Desi Lou offered Bill and Vivian Vance the chance to move into their own Fred and Ethel spin-off series, a chance Bill jumped at, but Vance refused. It didn't take Bill long to find another part, however, as that same year saw his first appearance as Michael Francis Bub O'Casey on the long-running series My 3 Sons, appearing with his old co-star Fred McMurray. Bill would play that role for 5 years out of the 12-year run of the series until his memory started to fail him and he started having trouble remembering his lines. The filming style of the show gave Bill some trouble, being vastly different from what he had been used to on I Love Lucy for the past 10 years. Where I Love Lucy was filmed in sequence before a live audience, like a play, My 3 Sons was filmed vastly different. The production worked around its main star, Fred McMurray, filming all of his scenes in 2 extensive blocks, adding up to 60 days, which still gave him time to work in films. After the 2 main filming blocks, the other actors were left to work out the remainder of the filming amongst the various episodes. Bill's last appearance would be with Lucille Ball on her show, The Lucy Show, in the episode Lucy and the Countess Have a Horse Guest, as the trainer. William Clement Frawley died on March 3, 1966 in Hollywood, Los Angeles, California, from a heart attack 5 days after his 79th birthday. Lucille Ball said of him, "I've lost one of my dearest friends, and show business has lost one of the greatest character actors of all time. Those of us who knew him and loved him will miss him." Co-stars Fred McMurray and Desi Arnaz were pallbearers at his funeral, and Arnaz even ran an ad in the trade papers. It consisted of Bill's picture, trimmed in black, with 3 words, "Buenas noches, amigo." Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. And don't forget to come back for more on This Was Their Life.